Rejected, overlooked, too small, too weak. That's what they said about Pedri Gonzalez. He wasn't a prodigy, he wasn't a superstar, just a boy from a small town in the Canary Islands who loved football. But this boy would grow into a 100 million euro maestro, the heart of Barcelona, the engine of Spain, and one of the most complete midfielders on the planet. How could Real Madrid turn down this talent? How did Pedri become the bright future of Barcelona? Let's find out. Our story begins in Bahama, a peaceful, quiet town in the Canary Islands. Pedri didn't train in elite academies. He played barefoot in the streets, learned the game with sand in his shoes, and a passion burning in his heart. Since he was 3 years old, football was everything to him. His father ran a Barca-themed bar. His grandfather even established an official Barcelona fan club in the town, and little Pedri grew up deeply admiring the legendary Andrés Iniesta, watched every game, and dreamed of playing at the Camp Nou. But dreams are not easy to achieve. He wasn't tall, he wasn't muscular, no one was chasing after him with big contracts. He was just an ordinary kid like any other. Until Real Madrid came calling for him. Still, in Bahama, he learned something more valuable than any academy could teach: to see the game differently. He played with older, tougher kids. He learned to think faster, move smarter, and create magic with just one touch. That's how Pedri became Pedri. He also learned the value of humility, something that would stay with him even long after achieving fame. In Bahama, no one was considered special. You earned respect on the pitch, not with a professional contract. This down-to-earth attitude followed Pedri everywhere, from the dusty fields to the grand stages of European football. At 15, Pedri received a trial at Real Madrid, the biggest club in the world. He traveled to their iconic training facility, Valdebebas, hoping to impress. But then it really started to snow quite heavily. Training was postponed, sessions were called off, and when he finally got the chance to show his talent, it simply wasn't enough to impress. The coaches were not convinced. Just like that, he was told, "You're not good enough." Rejection. Years later, at 15, Pedri would look back and say, "I couldn't train because there was snow on the pitch. In the end, they told me I wasn't good enough. Now I'm where I want to be." Instead of breaking him, that moment built him up. He returned to his home and more motivated than ever. While others might have given up, Pedri trained even harder. Every hour he spent juggling the ball in his backyard became his driving force. Every game he played for Las Palmas after that trial was a quiet message to Madrid: "You were wrong." He also realized something important that day. Not all paths to greatness are golden. Sometimes it is the difficult and less traveled paths, which are often filled with rejections and setbacks, that produce much stronger champions. Pedri didn't need validation. He needed a ball, a dream, and time. A year later, while Madrid forgot about him, the second division club Las Palmas saw magic. They didn't care about his size or strength. They saw his sharp intelligence, his superb ball control, and his creativity. At just 16 years old, he signed his first professional contract. From day one, it was clear Pedri was different. His vision and composure were light years ahead. At 17, he became Las Palmas' youngest debutant ever. The Segunda Division is brutal, it is intensely physical, and it is relentless. But Pedri thrived. He outsmarted grown men with his mind, not his muscles. He didn't need to beat defenders with speed. He beat them with ideas. A pass, a feint, a glance over his shoulder, that's all he needed. The fans saw it, his teammates showed unwavering trust in him, and scouts started to take notice. Every game felt like an exhibition, and Pedri, with his boyish face and quiet confidence, kept delivering performances on the pitch. And it didn't take long before Barcelona came knocking. Just a few months after his first team debut, a crisis-ridden club needed a spark, and they found it in Pedri. 5 million euros. That is truly all it took to finally sign him. A young teenager from the second division, he was a bargain and a risk, but one that would ultimately change Barcelona's future forever. When Ronald Koeman arrived as coach, no one expected Pedri to play, let alone dominate. but Pedri didn't wait for permission. He was fearless and determined in training, calm on the ball and bold in possession. So when the season started, Koeman didn't just give him minutes, he gave him significant responsibility, and Pedri delivered. The world began to take notice when he ran the midfield in a Champions League clash against Juventus, Cristiano Ronaldo's team. At just 17, Pedri looked as if he had been playing at Camp Nou for a decade. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't loud, but every pass made sense, every movement had a purpose. He connected with Messi as if they had been playing together for years. Their chemistry became one of the few bright spots in a difficult season for Barcelona. By the end of that season, he had played more minutes than anyone else at the club, won the Golden Boy Award, Europe's highest honor for young talents, became the face of Spain's next generation, and played every single minute of Spain's Euro 2020 campaign, from the second division to a European star in less than 12 months. But success came at a price, and soon that price would catch up with him. Great that you've made it this far. Then this story must have captivated you just as much as it did us. Give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming football documentaries. Now back to Pedri, because this story is just getting started. Pedri was now a superstar. In the span of less than 2 years, he had gone from a Segunda División prodigy to a world-renowned name. But the meteoric rise came at a staggering price. After a grueling season with Barcelona and a marathon run at Euro 2020, most players would have certainly opted for a much-needed break. Not Pedri. He flew straight to Tokyo to represent Spain at the prestigious Olympic Games. Another tournament, more matches, more minutes. By the end of that year, Pedri had played 73 competitive matches, more than any other professional footballer in the world. Over 5,000 minutes of football at just 18 years old. That was not sustainable. The boy who once played barefoot in Beixamar was now carrying the weight of a broken Barcelona, the hopes of a rebuilding Spain, and the pressure of worldwide fame on his shoulders. Barcelona's medical team sounded the alarm. Spain's fans begged him to rest, but Pedri? He kept playing. He didn't want to disappoint anyone until his body gave out. An injury to his thigh struck him initially, followed by another. What started as a small twinge became a pattern. Barcelona had no choice. They pulled the emergency brake. 4 long months off. No bright lights at Camp Nou, no dramatic late goals, no silky through balls, just pure rest, deep reflection and physical recovery. It was an incredibly painful period of time, but it might have ultimately saved his career. When Pedri finally returned in 2022, he came back to a different Barca side. The ghosts of the Koeman era were gone. Instead, Xavi Hernandez arrived, the midfield magician Pedri had admired as a child, and now he was the boss. For Pedri, it felt like destiny. Xavi didn't just admire Pedri's game, he understood it. He knew the value of silence in football, how a clever pass can speak louder than a shot from 30 meters out. Under Xavi, Pedri wasn't supposed to shine, but to make an impact. Pedri's role evolved. He dropped deeper, took on more responsibility, and controlled the tempo of the game like an experienced conductor. He became the vital bridge between defense and attack, the heartbeat of Xavi's Barcelona, and it worked brilliantly. Barcelona rose from absolute chaos to a structured team, moving from panic to a clear plan. At the end of the 2021 to 2022 season, Barca finished second in La Liga after many months of crisis. And Pedri, he was right at the center of it all. In the 2022 to 2023 season, he stepped up once again, scoring 7 goals, more than ever before in a single season. He led Barca to their first championship since Messi's departure. His passing accuracy consistently remained above 91%. On average, he played 2.2 key passes and over 9 progressive passes per game. He wasn't just back. He dominated the midfield as if he were born for it. Barcelona knew exactly what they had in Pedri, and they weren't taking any chances. After watching him mature from a teenager into the most intelligent playmaker, they gave him an astronomical release clause of €1 billion. It was more than just a price tag, it was a statement. Pedri was not just a promising talent, he was untouchable, irreplaceable. Despite all the crazy numbers, market analysts estimated his real market value at around 100 million euros, and even that figure was rising. Week after week, he displayed the consistency, intelligence, and versatility that only the best midfielders in the world possess. Then, a new turning point came in Pedri's story. Xavi Hernandez, his idol, mentor, and coach, left. Instead, Hansi Flick arrived, the German tactical mastermind known for his intense, fast-paced transition play, a system that was much more vertical than Barca's traditional possession-based style. Many feared it wouldn't suit Pedri's calm, rhythmic style of play, but Pedri adapted. Flick gave him a freer, more offensive role, closer to the opponent's penalty area, and Pedri rose to the challenge. He is currently playing his most productive offensive season with 4 goals and 6 assists. But the even greater achievement, he has stayed fit. After years full of setbacks and exhaustion, Pedri's body has finally kept pace with the genius of his football mind. He was faster, stronger, more determined. He was no longer just a clever boy from Barcelona, he was the engine of Barcelona's new era. At just 22 years old, Pedri is now the perfect blend of classic elegance and modern dynamism. And he's only just getting started. From Barcelona to Camp Nou, Pedri's journey was about more than just football. It was about struggle, rejection, and heart. If this incredible story of resilience moved you today, please like, subscribe to our channel, and share the video with a true football fan. That was Pedri Gonzalez, the €100 million superstar. Madrid let go. See you next time.